Onze volgende stap is terugkeren naar de Longbottom family. Om te kijken of we hier weer wat kunnen betekenen. Want misschien kan Susie iets doen in de film.
It bubbles, smokes and stinks.
Yes.
Kijk.
I have a star for the lead role in your monster movie.
A star for the lead role.
Yes, an icon of the classic horror movie. As a fan of horror movies, you probably know him. And he's currently available.
Don't keep me in suspense. Who is it?
None other than the incomparable Popescu. Vlad Popescu.
Vlad who?
Popescu.
Huh? Never heard of him.
Oh, really? I thought you were such a big fan of horror movies.
I am. And that can only mean that your big star is a big nobody. But I wouldn't be interested in recasting the lead anyway.
Really, your movie would sell much better at the box office with a real star in the lead role.
That may be so. But for one thing, your big star is obviously a big nobody. And for another, I would never recast Mr. Snuggles.
Oh, drat, that's right. Your main character's a hamster. Yeah, I guess Vlad would probably have one or two problems with the embodiment of a hamster.
Not to mention that the contracts with Mr. Snuggles have been signed, and I don't want to be sued for breach of contract.
I see.
Plus, Mr. Snuggles has that refreshing screen presence that only a newcomer to the movie business can bring. And you don't find this presence every day. Especially not with a washed-up guy that nobody knows.
I see.
Sorry. Unfortunately, the lead role has already been filled.
Ja,
And
dat
since
zijn wel
there
achter.
are no other roles in my movie besides Mr. Snuggles,
I see.
Oké,
Well, I think I'd have a hard time with all that makeup.
hier waren we al achter gekomen. Even kijken, dit hebben we.
Everything is ready for your monster movie?
As good as, and that were I had almost lost faith in the project. But with Mr. Snuggles' transformation into Tarantula Giganto, or as I call him, Big T, the project has taken a giant leap forward. Not that I had any doubt about my abilities as a biochemist. The desired reaction of the chemical components I had added to Mr. Snuggles' food just took a little longer than expected. But that's just the way it is. Chemistry is not an exact science.
So soon you'll start shooting. When will the movie be released?
Soon. Very soon. Before that, I have to convince my studio boss
Oh ja,
that those
dat geld
conversations
nodig,
with
ja.
studio...
Because the studio...
Right.
Dit hadden we al gezegd, ja.
So what? Puff, special...
Creature...
Ja, dit hadden we al gezegd.
Something...
Yes,
I wish...
thanks.
Let me know.
Anything?
Nee,
See you later.
Ah,
dan gaan we even met haar vader overleggen. Want we hebben misschien ook wel een expert gevonden.
Yes, my friend. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Do you need any help with your archaeology stuff?
Help? You probably mean well, my boy. But your language suggests... Oh, have some...
Well, I've seen plenty of Western...
West...
Yeah,
John Wayne, the...
Dit gesprek hebben we al gehad. Waarom was het wit?
But...
as it happened...
Really?
Oh ja, dit
This
zeiden
was
we.
indeed a good end, and your friend was one of the consultants on the flick.
Ja,
He was. Whenever things got technically stuck during filming, thanks to James's advice, the camera was up and running again in no time.
And you would let me have his phone number?
Even much better, my good, really very good friend is now a successful director and is shooting a new movie. Another Western, by the way, just a few miles from here. Surely I could arrange a timely meeting.
You would? I am overwhelmed. That would be absolutely great. I miss this professional exchange with like-minded people so much.
Yeah, great. I'll let James know you're interested in talking. And surely you can explain to him why some aspects of the movie are rather questionable in nature and less authentic.
Oh, for example?
Well, James had better tell you himself. I don't want to spoil the surprise.
All right. I'm very excited.
nou dan moeten we hem nu gaan voorstellen aan
That's all.
James. Zo moeten we weer naar James. Een beetje om en om is het zo.
You again?
Are you by any chance an expert on the Wild West?
Interesting question. You think that just because I'm a movie director shooting a Western here, that I'm necessarily an expert on the era?
No, actually, I think so because you told me yourself that you were a consultant and assistant director on the flicks like Dances with Wolves and The Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, you actually remembered that. I am impressed.
Ja.
You have to know that I wasn't always in the movie business. Before all the glitz and glamour, I was a student of North American history for a brief period of my life. However, after successfully completing my degree and spending a year as a high school history teacher, I changed my mind rather quickly.
Was there a particular reason for this?
Indeed there was. Unfortunately, today's kids are all little psychopaths. And the kids in an American high school in particular.
Aren't you being a little too harsh with today's youth?
Quite possibly. But my delicate nervous system of that time was not made for the daily problems of the youth of that time. And secretly, it had always been my wish to make my hard-earned knowledge a reality anyway. I was a big fan of the cinema from an early age. And as luck would have it, and a few fortunate circumstances later, I took my first steps in Hollywood as a consultant on Dances with Wolves.
And because of the enormous success of the movie, Hollywood was then probably lining up for you.
Yes, exactly. I guess you could say I had done a pretty good job and had made the right decision at the right
Dan
time.
gaan we ze zo met elkaar
And
verbinden,
now,
denk ik.
a few decades later, I'm standing here in the woods shooting a Western again, living my dream.
A romance horror western.
Yes, okay, the dream requires a few sacrifices from time to time. But, my boy, as much as I like to reminisce with you, why do you want to know all of this anyway?
Well, would you be interested in talking to another expert on North American history? He's a luminary in the field, as are you.
I have a pretty tight schedule here. It doesn't really allow me to get distracted like that.
Don't you think there are currently a few problems that needed to be solved first, until they can start filming again?
That is also true. And the exchange with a like-minded person may give me some ideas how to improve this production. Who is your expert? Do I know him?
Does Lord Longbottom ring a bell?
Lord Longbottom? The Lord Longbottom, perhaps. Lord Albus Percival Longbottom?
Oh, you know him already?
Not personally, unfortunately. However, I am a lifetime subscriber to the American Archaeology magazine, and Lord Longbottom's contributions to that magazine were, or are, absolutely fantastic. His expeditions in South and North America are legendary, and milestones of modern archaeology.
Oops, you sound really excited.
And you know Lord Longbottom? Really? He's kind of like the modern Indiana Jones, you know.
Ja, we hebben
Yeah,
ook-
I know him. Very well even. We've been friends for a long time, ever since we ran into each other walking our chihuahuas. And the comparison with Indiana Jones, he doesn't like that at all, but it's okay. I once made the same mistake. Would you be interested in a meeting? That could certainly be arranged.
Are you seriously asking that? Of course, I'd be interested. This kind of distraction might be just what I need right now. After all these years, deep in my heart, the fire of the historian and archaeologist still burns brightly. Even though I myself have never had the pleasure of going on an archaeological trip. I would be all the more pleased to hear from Lord Longbottom about his travels firsthand.
Great! Then I'll let Lord Longbottom know promptly that he'll find a like-minded person here.
Thanks a lot, my boy. I really appreciate that.
Good, I'll let you get on with your work.
See you later. I can't wait to hear from Lord Longbottom.
Dan gaan we weer terug naar Lord Longbottom.
Yes, my friend.
I have good news for you.
So, which are?
Weren't you looking for a like-minded colleague to share knowledge with?
Yes? So?
And had unfortunately rejected my extensive knowledge from cinema westerns with John Wayne?
Yes? As much as I like the Duke's movies, they shed a highly one-dimensional light on the events of the time.
That's right, and I'd promised you a meeting with my good friend James Pollock. Remember?
James Pollock, yes. I remember him dimly. That was the consultant on The Last of the Mohicans, right?
Exactly! And he'd also demonstrated his knowledge in Dances with Wolves. And for good reason. Prior to his career in Hollywood, he studied South and North American history and archaeology.
Sounds like an interesting contemporary.
Right? And he was thrilled when I told him about our friendship. He's a big fan of your articles in American Archaeology magazine.
Our what? Friendship?
Yeah, since we met while walking the Chihuahua.
Excuse me?
Okay, maybe I exaggerated a little. But you did want a meeting with a like-minded colleague.
And this James Pollock would be interested in a meeting? That would be splendid indeed. How can I reach Mr. Pollock? Do you have a phone
Ga er gewoon
number
heen,
for me?
naar het bos.
Much better. You can meet him directly.
En dan nemen wij
Today!
die indiaan mee.
Really? How so? Isn't he shooting some movie in Hollywood right now?
As luck would have it, he's indeed shooting a movie at the moment. But right around the corner.
That is terrific. Where exactly is the movie set?
Do you know the collapsed viaduct a few villages away?
Yes, I think I read something about it recently.
Well, the bridge has been expertly repaired in the meantime, and directly on the other side in the forest is the movie set. You can't miss it. If you're not afraid of heights.
That is indeed great news. Thank you for making the contact.
After all, what are friends for?
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I have finished cataloguing here, I will pay Mr. Pollock a visit.
I'm sure you have many common themes.
I think so too. And this will be a pleasant change from the topics I can talk about with my wife. She is all about cats, cats, and cats again.
En nu? Moet ik wachten tot hij klaar is? Zou die sculptor al klaar zijn? Nee.
Judging by the large pile of...
Yes? That's good.
Nou, hij is daar nog niet klaar mee. Make sure Eddie finishes his stone bust. Daar heb ik al bezig geweest, daar ben ik bezig mee geweest, daar ben ik mee bezig geweest. Stand around and look good. Totempole ben ik mee bezig geweest. Hier ben ik ook mee bezig geweest. Stand around and look good. Is dat misschien iets voor
May
Johnny
I
Shrew?
interrupt for a moment?
But of course, and you are...
Nee.
That'll...
Stand around and look good. Ricky misschien, die kan dat.
Yes.
Kijk,
A friend needs some help concealing his age. Any tips?
You ask me for help. Does your friend need a new hairstyle?
I'm not sure about that. That's exactly why I'm asking you. You're the professional here in such things. Unfortunately, my friend is a bit older and needs a little makeover for an important event.
I see. Well, first things first. His food. What kind exactly are you feeding?
Unfortunately, I can't say. He's actually not too fat. His diet probably consists of lots of vegetables and a steak now and then.
A steak? That is already the first mistake. You don't feed something like that. What's with his fur? Does it shine beautifully, or does it appear rather dull?
His fur. Well, I think he prefers the term hair. It's grey and shiny. It's also more about doing something with his face. It's quite wrinkled.
One thing at a time. A rejuvenating cure always starts with the fur. That's why I definitely recommend some bold color. But the easiest thing would probably be if you bring your friend here and I see what can be done.
That will probably not be possible. Vlad very rarely leaves his house anymore.
You mean he lies in his basket all day? Is he perhaps depressed?
I guess he is. But as I mentioned before, he has the chance to play in a movie. He just needs to appear a bit younger for it.
A movie star? These are usually the most difficult customers. But without being able to judge here, I can unfortunately only give you these very general tips now. Quality food, an appealing hair color, and maybe subtle pet makeup here and there. This should make your friend look a few years younger
Quality
in
food,
no time.
an appealing hair color.
Good. Thank you. In fact, this already helped me a bit.
I am glad that I could be of service. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Meer hebben we dan niet voor hem.
That's all.
Is hier binnen nog wat? Wellicht. Marks in the carpet.
That's 3 pretty deep imprints in the carpet.
Ja, hier is niks, een large puddle.
The sink must be leaking.
Hier kunnen we niks meer mee. Stand by and look pretty.
Back again?
Daar hebben we ook niks aan die vrouw. Oké. University, daar was niemand. Nou, misschien dat hoofd. Die kan wel stand by and look pretty.
Yes?
Nee.
Oh, too bad. Or because the...
Nee. De veterinarian, ja, die is nog steeds niet thuis. Dus daar kunnen we dan niks. Vlad ben ik geweest. Ja, ik ben volgens mij dan overal nu wel geweest. Misschien mevrouw Longbottom nog. Een tijdje niet meer mee gepraat. Of de butler.
Yes?
Nee.
That's all.
Good.
You will get these.
Nee.
Thank you. It says property of was Lord.
Ja, ik denk stand by and look pretty. Die indiaan. Die daarboven staat. Oh, die krijg ik natuurlijk niet zomaar weg.
Deceptively real. At least the way I... Would you mind if I borrow the chief for a moment?
Actually, I do. What do you want with him?
I have an idea how he could add some authentic flair to a cheap western. The western their colleague James Pollock is shooting a few villages away.
Oh, why didn't you say so? I'm always happy to lend a colleague a
We mogen gewoon die
hand.
hele indiaan meenemen.
Please take care that the statue is not damaged. The chief is an irreplaceable museum piece.
I will. I promise.
Kijk, we douwen gewoon die hele chief in mijn inventory. En dan zetten we die daar ook mooi in het bos erbij. In de well-lit spot.
I think maybe some...
Dat was hier toch? Oh ja, perfectly illuminated spot daarboven. Ja.
From the camera position, this perfectly carved statue could probably really pass for an extra. Today's moviegoers are not particularly attentive anyway. Let's see how the chief looks here, in the perfect light. Wow! An impressive appearance.
Staat hij hoor.
Even more so here in the perfect light. I wonder what Mr. Pollock thinks about that.
Daar zal hij wel blij mee zijn.
You again?
I might have.
Really?
Let me give you a. He's an icon, and his.
Oh nee, het
Yeah,
nog,
no,
Vlad.
Pop.
Pet?
You. No.
That may,
daar moeten we nog een foto van maken.
I.
No.
Would you?
I did.
I
Tell you.
Ja.
They're not-
Gesprek hebben we al gehad. Skip. Deze.
What do you think of your new free extra?
Oh. Did you put that statue back there?
You said the production couldn't afford extras, so I just wanted to show some initiative.
This idea indeed shows some creativity.
The chief, by the way, is borrowed from Lord Longbottom. He's said to give you his best regards and he wishes you much success with the movie. Do you think that solves your extra problems?
Lord Longbottom, really? I'll have to thank him in due time for that nice idea. Yes, I think that might even work. I was just looking for a simple stand-in extra anyway.
So he really just has to stand there and look majestic.
Exactly. And from the camera position and at a distance, there is indeed no reason for the extra to have a pulse. Drat, why didn't I think of that before? In any case, many thanks for that. The Lord also deserves my thanks.
I was happy to help. Have you had a chance to meet Lord Longbottom?
Unfortunately, not yet. But I'm really looking forward to it.
Great, I think the Lord feels the same way. Okay, then I better let you
Kijk,
get
weer een
back to
probleem
work.
opgelost.
And maybe I have an idea for one of your other problems.
Weer een probleem opgelost. Battery empty. Dat kunnen we misschien wel doen in onze phone charger at home. Maar goed, laten we dat weer doen in de volgende video, want we hebben hier weer een probleem opgelost. Dus ik zou zeggen, graag tot de volgende. Joejoe!